Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Sydney from PhoneDoc.com, and I'm here to do a review for you guys of the myTouch Q from T-Mobile. Now, T-Mobile just released two new myTouch devices, the myTouch and the myTouch Q. The main difference is that the myTouch Q, as the name suggests, has a physical QWERTY keyboard. It's a mid-range device with a 1 GHz processor, a 5 megapixel camera that can capture HD video, and it's very inexpensive, but should you still consider it? Is it worth looking into? Well, I'm going to answer that question in the full review. I'll talk about how the phone performs overall. Before we get on to the review, I have to say special thanks to our friends at Best Buy Mobile. We thank them all the time because they send us phones that we add to our One Pop Bandit game, and that's the game where you guys can win free phones. One of the great things about Best Buy Mobile is they sell phones from every major US carrier, including some prepaid carriers. So instead of having to go to several different retail stores, you can just go to Best Buy Mobile and compare all of the phones right there in one place. So thank you, Best Buy Mobile, for being so awesome. Thank you guys for watching this video. It's a review of the myTouch Q from T-Mobile. I'm Sydney from PhoneDoc.com. Let's go check it out. Alright, so let's get started with the myTouch Q from T-Mobile, the brother or the sister to the myTouch. If you're wondering what the difference is between the myTouch and the myTouch Q, it's pretty obvious from the name. The myTouch Q has a QWERTY keyboard. There's a couple of other differences too, but this isn't a comparison video, so we won't talk about that. Starting with the hardware, naturally, because it has a physical keyboard, it's going to be a little more thick than, other smartphones on the market. But, actually it doesn't feel too thick in the hands, and I think that's because the overall design of it is nice. There's a lot of curved, edges and the borders, a lot of angles here. You can see it kind of tapers off on the bottom and then also on the top. So because of those curved edges and corners, it makes it feel more slim than it really is. It's still 0.5 inches thick, which is kind of thick, but again, it doesn't feel too chunky while I'm holding it. It is made out of plastic, but it has a nice solid feeling to it. And then on the back here, you can get this in two different colors. This is the gray version. On the left side, we have the volume rocker buttons. On the bottom, there's nothing except for the microphone. On the right side, there's nothing. And then on the front, or the top, is basically where everything is at. You have the power button, the micro USB charging port, or you can use this for data transfer, and then the 3.5mm headphone jack. So moving to the front here, we have a 3.5-inch display. It has a resolution of 320 by 480. So, pretty standard resolution for a mid-range to low-end device. And, for the most part, it looks good. Colors are a little bit faded. Graphics aren't going to show up very well, but that's to be expected with a device of this caliber. Once you get close to the text, you're going to notice that the text is kind of pixelated, maybe a little rough around the edges, but you'd have to look pretty closely in order to notice that. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with the display. Now, this is an Android device, and it ships with Android version 2.3, and then as you can see, LG has made some customizations to Android, so it looks a lot different from other Android phones out there and a lot different from the stock Android experience. So we'll go over a couple of these customizations. First of all, you'll notice on the front here we have a dock with shortcuts for phone, messaging, web, email, and then the app drawer. Now, you can't change these, so this is what you get out of the box, and you can't customize that at all. If we go to the app drawer, you'll notice that it's divided by categories, so we have recent, downloads, and then applications. You can change these categories, add new ones, rearrange the apps if you would like to, pinch in to view all the categories, and then pinch out to expand them. Personally, I don't like the category design, so the nice thing is that you can actually change it to list view or page view if you like. This is a format that we see on a lot of Android devices, but you do have the option, if you want to view it by category, you can keep it that way. Again, going to the notification bar, we have toggle buttons for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, auto sync, and sound, so you can turn the ringer on or off. And then there's a couple of custom widgets that come with the phone. So here we have a weather widget that you can use. Along with that, You'll notice that the method for adding widgets, shortcuts, folders, or changing the wallpaper, visually it looks different. But we'll take a look at some of the other widgets that you get. You do get a battery widget, which is nice. So you don't have to search through the market to find one. Application manager, bonus apps. This is LG's custom email app that also comes with a widget. Hands-free mode with the Genius button. We'll talk about that later on in the review. A lot of these are widgets that you get with every Android device, so I'm just pointing out the ones that are specific to the myTouch Q. You get a couple of options for a mobile life shopping list, power control, social plus, sticky note, rich note, T-Mobile TV, and then it comes with the Twitter app out of the box, and then there's that weather app. Taking a look at this custom email app, this is LG's email app. Now, of course, you can use the Gmail app. You don't have to use this one, but this is basically what it looks like. It's pretty functional. You can view an email, respond, reply, delete it. That's a quick look at LG's email app. And we'll go to messaging now. So we'll see a couple of the other customizations that LG has made. And here's a virtual keyboard, and this is the Android keyboard. So this will come with every Android device. Now again, this is another benefit of having a phone that ships with version 2.3, which is the newest version that's available to the public, is that you get this newly redesigned keyboard. Along with that, you also have, swipe. So if you want to use swipe, for the most part, I'm guessing that most people will use the physical keyboard. So we'll take a look at this, and just to start off with, this is a very well-designed physical keyboard. You can see you have shortcuts for menu, text, the web, and then one more shortcut for home, as well as any emoticons. So nice to have those. And then along with that, you have primary keys for the period, or for the comma, period, question mark, .com, and the at symbol. So it's very rare to see a keyboard with all of these shortcuts. Sometimes you'll get the period key, but then you'll have to press Alt to get to the comma or the question mark. But it's nice to have all of them. The keys are pretty flat. If you look at them from an angle, kind of get an idea of what they look like. But they are raised above the surface just ever so slightly, and they do have a slight bubble texture to them, or rounded design, so that makes typing a lot easier. And then another nice thing is that they're not too firm. They're easy to press, and I think that's nice to have because they're plastic, so they don't have a lot of grip to them, since there's no rubber texture. But instead of being slippery, or instead of my fingers just sliding over the keys, because they're so easy to press, that's not really a problem at all. I can easily press a key, move on to the next key, and then typing is easy. I can type very quickly on the keyboard. So it's a very well designed keyboard. The island style keys, again, that's a nice feature. I really enjoyed using the keyboard, and of course you can test it out and see, because keyboards are very subjective. I know personally I'm very picky when it comes to keyboards, so you may want to try it out a little bit, but overall I've been pleased with the keyboard.